Hey guys, today we dive headfirst into a prehistoric time hole that left scientists, and maybe even you, completely speechless. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Drop your location and local time in the comments. I love seeing where you all are listening from across this wild, spinning rock we call Earth. Now, let's get lost in time. You trudge across the dry spine of the Australian outback, your boots crunching over rust-colored dust that hasn't seen rain in 1,000 years, or at least that's how it feels. The sun overhead is punishing, like it has a personal vendetta against skin, and your canteen makes a very concerning slosh when you check it. Still, the old drone footage you've been following is legit. A deep shadow up ahead, round and smooth-edged, looks far too symmetrical to be just another depression in the desert. It's a sinkhole, but not the garden variety type that swallows shopping malls and viral headlines. This one pulses faintly, like a heartbeat. As you peer over the rim, the air seems thicker. It bends light subtly, making the trees around you look like they're swaying underwater. Your watch flickers. Then resets. Your phone glitches so hard it looks like it's trying to speak Morse code. You rappel down, of course. Because that's what you do. What could possibly go wrong? The descent is eerie, layers of rock blink by, each band older than the last, until you realize you're moving through time as much as space. There's a moment when the air shifts from oven dry to cool and damp, and then you land with a soft thump on moss. Yeah, moss. In the middle of a desert. Here's the kicker: the deeper you go, the newer everything seems, except the tech won't work. Nothing does. The drone you release just sort of floats for a second, then buzzes off like a confused beetle. And that's when you hear it, a distant, slow rumble. Not thunder. Something older. You're not alone. The incredible theme revolves around extraordinary human achievements, natural wonders, and adventurous exploration. And this is definitely checking the box on natural wonders. And hey, remember those skyscraper deep coal mines in Germany? This sinkhole makes them look like potholes. That's your engineering marvel, even if it wasn't man-made. And the aviation grandeur? The drone may be toast, but its final glimpse shows a canyon inside the hole shaped like a wing, nature doing its best Wright brothers impersonation. You swallow hard. Onward. You press forward, one cautious step at a time, flashlight sweeping across stone walls so ancient they practically hum. The moss underfoot thickens. The air carries a deep loamy scent, wet earth and something faintly metallic. Then, just ahead, a shape shifts in the gloom. You freeze. It's not your imagination. A creature lumbers out from the shadows, its skin a lumpy patchwork of dull gray scales and mossy green. It blinks at you with slow, lidless eyes, prehistoric, calculating. A diprotodon. Extinct for 40,000 years. Yet here it stands, chewing on fern-like plants like it's just Tuesday. You whisper to yourself, because who else is going to believe this? But before you can panic or take out your useless phone, a low growl echoes behind you. You turn as slowly, because fast movements in the presence of ancient megafauna feel like a terrible idea, and spot another. Then three. An entire group. They're not aggressive, just curious. But you realize now that this isn't a fluke. This hole isn't just some ancient crevice, it's a preserved timeline. Like someone hit pause on evolution and forgot to press play. Above you, soft flutters fill the air. Giant dragonflies, Meganura, wingspans as wide as your outstretched arms, glide silently overhead. Their shimmering wings catch the faint light like stained glass in a cathedral, casting rainbows on the stone walls. It's beautiful. It's terrifying. The incredible theme revolves around extraordinary human achievements, natural wonders, and adventurous exploration, and you're smack in the middle of all three. You're exploring a living diorama of Earth's past, the kind that should only exist in museums and bad CGI. And speaking of achievements, the layout of this ecosystem is no accident. It's layered in zones like a perfectly engineered biodome, each tier supporting specific species in balance. No one built it, but you'd swear some ancient engineer laid this out like the most ambitious zoo ever. Your boot brushes something hard, a rib cage, fossilized but intact, half buried in the dirt. As you kneel to examine it, you realize it's not fossilized at all. The bones are fresh. Too fresh. Something died recently. Something big. Above, one of the dragonflies spirals out of control and vanishes midair with a pop. No sound, just sudden absence. You look up and realize the air itself is stitched with lines like thermal pockets or time fractures. This place is alive, yes. But also unstable. And here's your aviation grandeur moment, a brief, magnificent glimpse of a giant prehistoric bird, Argentavis, the sky tyrant, gliding across a gap in the canopy. The wingspan is absurd. Like a hang glider powered by muscle and instinct. For a second, it locks eyes with you. Just long enough to say, you don't belong here. You couldn't agree more. You descend farther, the light from above now little more than a faded halo. The air thickens again, humid and oddly fragrant, like crushed citrus and hot iron. Your flashlight flickers as you step through an arch of dripping rock into a space so vast it seems impossible. The ceiling isn't a ceiling. It's sky. Or something pretending to be one. Stretching above you is an endless dome of soft blue, cloudless, glowing, and entirely underground. It pulses slightly, like a living membrane. You tilt your head, squint, and realize the light source isn't a sun. It's just there, ambient and warm. And no matter how you shift your position, it always seems to light you from the front. Like stage lighting in a prehistoric opera. Below this impossible sky sprawls a valley of obsidian cliffs, bioluminescent rivers, and towering trees that pulse faintly with electric blue veins. It's breathtaking. It shouldn't exist. But here it is, an unbroken ecosystem under an unbroken sky. You walk carefully, feeling like an ant in a terrarium built by something very large and very curious. You pause to drink in the view. And drink you must, because your body's burning calories like it's in fight or flight mode. The heat here isn't oppressive, but constant. And everything around you moves with deliberate, graceful slowness, like time itself stretches thin in this chamber. You spot it then, in the distance, a cliff face cut in perfect symmetry, like a knife through butter. A flat black surface that absorbs light rather than reflects it. Not natural. Not accidental. There's geometry in this chaos. That's your engineering marvel, a sheer wall with grooves etched in strange, rhythmic patterns. A sequence that repeats, like a code or instructions? You get closer, and your breath catches. The material isn't stone. It's metal. Ancient. Cold. Untouched by rust. What's it doing in a place like this? Suddenly, a roar splits the valley. Not an animal. Not thunder. A vibrating humph that echoes through your ribs like a subwoofer buried in your chest. Trees ripple. The sky quivers. Something just landed. Or woke up. Aviation grandeur returns in full force as an enormous shadow passes beneath the sky. You glance up and see it, a vast, mantle-like creature with gossamer wings riding thermals that shouldn't even exist. Its flight is too fluid to be mechanical, too massive to be biological. But it's both. Organic wings, metallic glint. A hybrid of evolution and engineering, or maybe something else entirely. You stand in awe, whispering a half-laugh because what else do you do when physics gives up? You keep walking. And somehow, this place keeps deepening. You're past logic now, past science. You've stepped into someone else's dream or memory. You follow the vibrations, they're stronger now, rhythmic, almost like breath. The path curves toward a narrow gorge where the ground dips into darkness again. As you descend, you catch flashes of light, soft, blue pulses echoing off the walls like sonar from an invisible leviathan. Then, you hear it, a low, mechanical hum. Not a sound made by nature. It resonates through your bones with an unnerving regularity, like the tick of a colossal heartbeat wrapped in machinery. You round a bend and freeze. There it is. Embedded in a cliff wall, half submerged in a subterranean river, sits a machine. Massive, ancient, and humming with life. Cables made of what looks like braided crystal stretch from its core like roots. The metal is smooth, uncorroded, etched with symbols that almost look familiar. Circular motifs, interlocking grooves, and delicate inscriptions like microscopic circuitry carved in perfect lines. Whoever or whatever made this didn't just know engineering. They invented it. This is your engineering marvel. A technological relic not just older than humanity, but older than the idea of humanity. And it's on. Still. Quietly functioning, as if patiently waiting for something or someone. You approach slowly, and as your hand brushes the surface, your vision stutters. The river shifts color. The walls vanish. You're standing on a platform, high above a city made of metal and light, with towers that bend and sway like blades of grass. Flying machines, sleek, silent, wingless, crisscross the sky. Then, just as quickly, you're back. Wet boots. Dark stone. River flowing quietly. Machine humming. You blink. Did it show you something? Or did you remember something? The incredible theme revolves around extraordinary human achievements, natural wonders, and adventurous exploration, and you just touched all three. You've uncovered a machine built when mammals still feared the night, one that pulses inside a living cave system straight out of a Jules Verne fever dream. And, of course, aviation grandeur hasn't left the building. A quick glance upward shows a narrow vertical tunnel filled with gliding, glowing creatures, jellyfish with wings. They float effortlessly through shafts of warm air, flapping gently in synchronized patterns. A natural air traffic system. This place makes the Dubai airport look like a flea market. Suddenly, the machine clicks. Just once. Sharp, deliberate. A disc slides open and light floods the chamber, not from the machine, but from you. Your skin glows faintly, illuminated from within. You step back. It stops. You step forward. It resumes. Great. You're the remote control now. And there it is, the creeping realization. You're not discovering this place. You're activating it. You back away slowly, heart pounding like it's trying to evacuate your ribcage. The machine hums louder now, no longer a passive purr but a rising chorus, like a cathedral organ warming up for Judgment Day. You glance behind you, half expecting the prehistoric diprotodons to be staging an intervention, but the cavern is empty. Just you, the river, and something that probably shouldn't be conscious. Then it happens. The sky, your underground night sky, shifts. It darkens to twilight, then stars appear. Real ones. Not a projection, not illusion. A night sky impossible under a mile of stone. And it's wrong. The constellations are unfamiliar. Alien. Some burn too bright. One pulses like a lighthouse. Another moves. You're no longer in a sinkhole. You're in a time loop. Or a pocket dimension. Or a memory palace made out of dreams, dirt, and design. Whichever, it's unraveling. The machine doesn't want to be alone anymore. It's waking everything up. Now you have a choice. A glowing bridge rises from the river, leading to a tunnel lit with slow, breathing lights. You know that if you walk through it, you won't come back. You'll step out somewhere, someone else. Past, future, sideways. Maybe into the stars you just saw. Maybe into the mind of whatever built this machine. Or, you could leave. Climb back up the vine-slick rock face, back into the heat and the bugs and the phone signal and people who definitely won't believe a word of this. You could pretend none of this ever happened. But here's the catch. The machine hums in sync with your heartbeat now. And when you step back, it dims. Like it misses you already. You remember the engineered biosphere. The river of lights. The winged jellyfish dancing on thermal currents. The diprotodons that blinked at you like old friends. The hybrid manta creatures surfing invisible airwaves. You think of all the discoveries that could have come from this and all the disasters if it had fallen into the wrong hands. The incredible theme revolves around extraordinary human achievements, natural wonders, and adventurous exploration, and maybe you're part of that now. Not a tourist. Not an explorer. A participant. An aviation grandeur? As you glance up, one last time, the night sky splits to reveal a ring of ships, giant, wheel-shaped objects, hanging like chandeliers in the dark. They blink in unison, as if acknowledging you. You laugh softly. Because of course it ends with flying saucers. Why not? So, what's it going to be? You stand on the bridge, between now and never. Between memory and mystery. And you take one step forward. And now, you just stop walking. Let your feet rest. Let your breath slow. You've traveled through timelines, touched extinct life, gazed into artificial skies, and stood at the edge of something older than history, something that watched humanity crawl from the mud and waited patiently for us to return. But here, right now, it's quiet. The humming has softened. The sky has dimmed to a soft velvet blue, stars drifting like fireflies lost in a dream. The heat, the tension, the strange pulses of time, they all begin to fade like breath on a mirror. Maybe none of it was real. Maybe all of it was. Your skin no longer glows. Your heartbeat is your own again. But something deep inside you feels different. Calmer. Wiser. Maybe a little less human, in the best possible way. The river trickles gently in the distance, like a lullaby for ancient machines. The air smells like moss and ozone and the first morning of Earth. You feel the gentle pull of gravity, of reality, of choice. And you decide to wait. Just a little longer. Just to be here. Because the most powerful journeys don't always end with fireworks, they end with understanding. So close your eyes now. Let the quiet carry you. Let the images blur and the sound soften until it all becomes still. You're safe. You're home. And hey, if you ever find another time hole, maybe don't poke it with a stick. Or do. I'm not your mom. Sleep well, time traveler.